Real video games on a cell phone? Pfft, that's impossible. Who would want to experience that? Apparently a lot of people. Apparently. Let's get digitally distracted. Welcome back. It's time for another digitally distracted show. I am Game Dave, joined as always by
Gerald.
And we're going to be talking about mobile gaming or cell phone gaming.
You know, I love it.
Yes, you do. And that's why we decided this needed to be a topic. We were struggling to stay on topic when we were talking about virtual reality. Why not get into the mobile?
You did a good job. You kept us on task. But,
I did my best. I did my best. So I know, sort of, let's lay it all out there.
Okay.
My opinions, we'll start with the opinions. My thoughts on specifically cell phone gaming. Because when you hear mobile gaming, of course you think your mobile phone.
Right.
But mobile really is a generic term. That could mean, taking any sort of game device with you mobily.
True.
But I think for this conversation, we're focused on mobile gaming when it is in regards to cell phone gaming. My opinion, I don't really care for it. That's not to say I've not played games on my cell phone.
I remember a little tiny tower action in your side of
Whoa,
the room there.
that's
right.
going way back.
That's
Oh, we're gonna have to
right,
talk about that
everybody.
one. Oh my gosh, Tiny Tower.
What you working on there, Dave? It's this game I'm playing.
That's years.
It
That
counts.
man. That's pre-game Dave almost.
It
That's
counts.
pre-game Dave. Wow. Well, generally, I'm a hater, and I have no basis for it. I'm just a hater, and I'm gonna try to be better. I just want to be better, Gerald. So we'll see what happens by the end of the show today. And your opinion on cell phone gaming?
I love them. That's actually where I do the majority of my gaming now. Is on my cell phone.
So if you were to put it in a percentage, I know you're a PS4 boy.
Right.
You're a PS4 boy.
Right.
And is that's your main console,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay, so if you were to break it up between PS4 gameplay hours percentage and how much you play on your cellular device.
Oh my gosh, it's definitely one-sided. It's 90% on my phone.
90? Okay,
yeah.
I was thinking like a 70-30.
No.
So
It's
90% of your gaming
90.
happens on your cell phone.
Yeah. Now, I will say this. I am kind of in between PS4 titles right now.
Okay, what were you playing?
I was playing Shadow Tactics.
Yep, which you told me to get, and I was like, yeah, I would love that game.
Yeah.
It's
So-
samurai strategy.
Yeah. But even when I was right in the thick of Shadow Tactics, I would probably say it would probably be 80-20.
So Shadow Tactics on PS4 only brought you up 10%.
Yep.
That's pretty crazy to me.
Yep.
Yeah, Shadow Tactics. It's on. I still have it on my Amazon wish list. Once it goes under $20, I will purchase
Oh, that's
it.
yeah.
But I gotta have
that's
it
a no-brainer.
physically. Yeah.
I get it.
I mean, samurais and sort of.
Well, it's Samurai Ninja.
and is it real time or is it turn based strategy?
It's real time.
So it's real time. Okay. Yeah, I gotta get on that for sure. Because there's so many games. There's so many sealed games I have over there that I just have pre-ordered and have not gotten to.
Right.
That's a whole other show. Finding time to play games is tricky. But still, cell phones beat out my beloved PS4. I love the PS4.
I do too. Don't get me wrong. I love the
Favorite
PS4
console
as well.
of this generation, and I mean, it just, man, it is a really good system. I mean, I have a dedication show to that. Once they kill the PS4, we'll have to have a dedication episode to all the greats on the PS4. Yeah, for me, if I had to put it into a percentage, I mean, it's probably 20-80
Okay.
in favor of console gaming.
Okay.
20% is probably too high. I feel like that's too high
I would agree with that.
for how I feel about the games. But we'll get into why that percentage happens the way it does, because they can draw you in.
They can.
Because I think cell phone games have to push this sort of addictive quality that console games are a lot easier to save and come back to.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And for the most part, you put your investment in the front of a console game. You buy it, so you want to get your money's worth out of it.
instead of that
you play
instead
it.
of that back end.
Right. And the back end
Gotta be
is
careful
on the
putting
mobile
it-
gaming.
gotta be careful
they have
putting
to
it in the rear.
get you, wanting to come back and then pay for the upgrades and that kind of thing. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's what makes me most mad, probably.
And I can appreciate that, but we'll get into that.
Yeah. So let's go. I like to get into the history, give everybody a little taste of where we've come from. So let's talk your history with cell phones. When was your first cell phone, if you can remember, and how old were you?
I was kind of late to the game. My first cell phone, I was sophomore in high school, maybe a junior, and it was one of these phones where it's emergencies only, just for you keep it in the car, and it's like you're stuck on the side of the road.
Yeah, and of course the age difference. For you that.
Yeah, so this was back in '94.
Yeah, so that's early.
Yeah,
that's early to have any kind of, I think, portable cell phone that wasn't like the jokey cliche 80s. It's a mobile phone.
Right, bag phone.
Yeah, car phone. Yeah, for me, it was also in high school, and it was, I believe, junior year.
Okay.
Junior year in high school, I got a prepaid cell phone. What was it? Virgin Mobile.
Oh, wow.
I got a prepaid Virgin Mobile phone, and it was my first one was a flip phone because I was a little late to the game.
Right.
For my age. It was a Virgin Mobile flip phone, prepaid. And I remember, because I was like, I can't afford a plan. I'm in high school. I have a very part-timey job.
Right.
I was working at a public access station.
That's the way to go, prepaid.
Yeah, at first. And then I noticed I was buying like $20 minute cards every couple of weeks.
Right.
I was like, I should just get... And then senior year is when I got a Verizon plan.
Okay.
And a cell phone, and I got like an LG flip phone, and I had that thing almost through college before I, made the switch to a smartphone.
Yeah.
So I didn't get a smartphone until I think 2011. So I was pretty late on the smartphone game, and I started with an iPhone 4.
Right.
iPhone 4 was my first experience with a smartphone, and to go back to those pre-smartphone days, I kind of like I longingly wish that I hadn't gotten sucked in, because it does, like, it helps your life in a lot of ways, but it also just destroys productivity.
That's true.
Because it's so easy to just grab it. It's right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? When did you make the switch from? Did you ever have a flip? Did you start with?
I never had a flip. I hated the flip phones.
Okay, so you had like the Nokia
style.
Right.
And then at one point, I think it was a Nokia. It was a blue phone. It was really tiny. And I had that for a while. And I think, when did I upgrade to? I think I had an iPhone.
So you started with iPhone though when it came to smartphones.
Yeah.
An iPhone 3. So yeah, a generation prior to me.
Yeah. So don't hold me to the dates there.
Did it go iPhone 3 and then 3G and then 4?
Yes. I did 3G. 3G was my first.
Okay, so you were one before.
Yep, 3G was my
4.
first.
Yeah, I came in at the 4, so I always avoided the numbered, the lettered upgrades.
Right.
So I would get the 4, then the 4S would come out, and then I would get the 5, and then the 5S would come out, and then the 6, the 6S. So I always missed the better version of the numbered phone.
Gotcha.
Which was kind of frustrating. And now I've been on the iPhone 7. Wait, no. I still have an iPhone 6.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, see? Just behind the times, because paying $1,000 for a cell phone, even if it's broken out into monthly payments, I just can't do it.
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to actually reference a little bit of our last episode.
Okay.
Just a smidgy.
Schmidge.
I am really excited about AR and, the iPhone 10s.
You can't wait to do augmented reality emojis.
Well,
it is?
I just the
face tracking emojis. No, that's right.
The potential's there, but the application just isn't there yet. And I'm looking forward to when the application has caught up to the hardware, and and that's why I haven't pulled the trigger yet. I'm still in the 6. And
so gaming is the reason you're still in the 6 because you're not ready. You don't think there's a need to upgrade gaming wise?
I would agree. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Mine is strictly money wise. So until this one's battery just gives out, I'm probably gonna stick with it. Or when Apple forces it to start crashing because I haven't upgraded. So we'll see how far I can make it. But they claim they're going to be announcing a ton of new phones, because I guess the 10 did not do that well.
That's my understanding as well.
So we'll see what they do next.
I'm excited.
11, I don't know.
I'm excited. I want the new applications.
And we have, and all the Android viewers are bashing us right now.
Right.
In the comments, ew. Apple, ew. iPhone, it'll happen.
Well, I almost went to an Android. I had a little tablet that was Android, and I thought, this will be a good opportunity for me to
Got a little Samsung right here.
See what's out there,
Yeah.
and let me look on the store and see what they have to offer. And I was really disappointed. So I was really glad that I kept my iPhone.
Yeah, I think for a tablet you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this little boy has done pretty well.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'd like to have an iPad, but I can't. I'm not rolling bucks.
I get you. I'm with
Can't
you.
be doing that. They're
I'm with
expensive.
you.
They're nice, but pricey.
Pricey.
So when it comes to smartphones and upgrading to smartphones and things like that, I was kind of touching on this earlier, how it's changed your time availability because it is so easy to shut off. Do you have this is a little off topic, but do you have a policy? Let's say you go to dinner with your lovely girlfriend. Okay, you go to dinner with your lovely girlfriend.
Lovely time together.
You guys have a no cell phone policy at dinner? How do you handle that?
I would argue she's actually worse on the cell phone than I am.
Okay, so you're pretty.
She would not agree with that, but
I've noticed that when we've gone out with you, and rarely do I see you pull your cell phone out.
Yeah,
it's pretty rare. That impresses me.
Oh, thank you.
I'm a cell phone on the table next. It's like part of the silverware. And it's a little embarrassing, and it's always the face down. It's like, I put it face down. So that's me being respectful. It's face down. It's not face up.
Right.
So the notifications I won't know unless I check. But it's so difficult because you're locked in, especially with having a YouTube channel and social media accounts and everything because you don't have to deal with that.
I don't. I'm really dark.
Disconnect.
When it comes.
I'm really dark. I'm on the dark web. Gerald's on the dark web, is what he said. No.
When it comes to social media, I'm just really not engaged. Right. I don't have a lot of patience or energy for it, honestly.
Good luck finding Gerald on the internet.
Right.
Except here. You can only catch Gerald on the Digitally Distracted show.
Yep. So, so most of my draw is either the news or games.
Okay, news and games is your go-to cell phone usage.
And the weather.
Now, are you now I remember years and years ago, because we've always in our relationship kind of gone through this thing where we talk and hang out every week, and then we take a year.
Right.
And then we hang out. But the good thing about our friendship is we pick right up.
Yeah.
It's like we saw each other yesterday.
Right.
And I know in the early years of our friendship, you were like a day later text backer.
Yeah.
You were that guy that the memes make fun of, where it's like, "Hey man, how you doing?" And then it'll be like, "Hey, just saw this," and the date's like a year later. That used to be you. You've gotten a lot better.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, do you do a lot of texting now compared to, say, 5 years ago?
It's probably is more. But now I keep my phone on me all the time, whereas before it would be in the house, but it'd be in another room or.
So it's in the pocket.
It's in
somewhere.
the pocket. It's on me pretty much all the time.
Yeah, same here. It's with me, and it's frustrating, but I don't think I'm at the point where I could go back. I don't think I could go back.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. I think I could. Well.
Here's
the thing. If it wasn't for the games, I could go back.
So if it wasn't for the games, you could not have a cell phone at all.
At all?
So you could go back to not keeping it with you all the time, but could you, because obviously you would take it with you if you were traveling.
Sure.
But could you go no cell phone? Could you do that? If gaming wasn't on the cell phone.
Now, are we talking about in terms of...
I'm talking, could you go back to the landline?
Right.
And that's your only phone.
So we're not looking at the other applications that a smartphone has. So like maps or
Yeah,
whether
we cut that out. Could
cut
you
all
go
that
back?
out. Could
Yeah.
I go back? Could I go back? Yes. Would it be an inconvenience to have the paper maps again and to check the weather before I left?
Oh.
Like, am I getting anything? Am I getting anything for doing
Yeah,
this,
there'd have to
or is
be
it just
some-
like is it possible for
I
you?
think it's because it's more like I think I would live differently
Mm-hmm.
if it was not as accessible.
Really?
And I always
What do you think would change?
I feel like I would do more. Like I would make more. I would probably be more creative instead of because now I see everybody else be creative all the time. I think that kills you because you might be like, oh, I wish I could do that, but it almost crushes your creativity.
Do you want to talk about that, or do you want to talk about that later? Because I've got some thoughts about that.
I know, dude. We have so much. This is gonna be a long one. We might have to go a little bit past the hour.
Yeah.
Right in the mic. You like that? Right in the mic. That's how intense. Yeah, we'll save it.
Okay.
We'll shave it for later.
Okay.
Because that's gonna get intense. I definitely derailed it because I'm thinking we were probably you a little bit more than me, but we were the last sort of generation that did not grow up with cell phones.
Right.
Cell phones
Yeah.
were not a thing.
Yeah.
My first long distance trip was with printed out directions. Now I was not an atlas boy.
Mm-hmm.
I never had to get the atlas out
Mm-hmm.
and check road maps
Yeah.
on a big sheet, but I was, MapQuest.
Okay.
Back when MapQuest still mattered.
I was an Atlas. I was an
Atlas.
Atlas.
I was an
kid.
Annapolis, Maryland boy.
Yeah. I was an Atlas kid.
Yeah, that's you see, I just missed that.
Uh-huh.
There was just enough internet by the time I was driving to where
Mm-hmm.
you could print directions. But printed directions back then were not very accurate.
No.
So
No.
it would get you there, but you would get lost. There'd be a turn that would be off.
Yep.
There was nothing. If construction happened, you were not able. There was no recalculating.
No recalculating.
These kids have no idea.
Spoiled.
Stressful. There's nothing more stressful. Because I used to drive to Chattanooga from Delaware,
Right.
solo, with MapQuest directions printed. I got lost.
Mm-hmm.
I got lost. I had to do. See, I don't think kids are gonna have to do that, where they have to stop at the creepy gas station
Right.
with the guy who doesn't even know how to spell smartphone.
Right.
And I'm trying to get back to Delaware.
Right.
Well, buddy, you're in the wrong place altogether.
Right.
So and then he's just giving me road names.
Yep.
Like I know road names.
Yep.
I'm one of those guys that it's embarrassing, but I'm a landmark guy. I'm one of those. Oh, you'll see the red barn.
Mm-hmm.
You'll pass two cows.
Right.
If the second cow's being milked,
You've gone too far.
You've gone too far. You're gonna have to turn around and go back to the unmilked cow.
Right.
If there's a bloated udder,
Right.
that's your turn.
That's your turn.
That's your turn. All right. Well, this is about mobile gaming, by the way. Somehow.
Right.
Oh, we just don't like to talk. That's all. First smartphones, we got into that. Before keeping it mobile, before you started to play mobile games on a cell phone, did you have any portable gaming devices?
No.
Not even a Game Boy?
Well, that's Yeah, I'm a liar.
I'm
Caught
pretty
me.
sure
You caught me. I did have a Game Boy.
Everyone had a Game Boy.
But that's when I think they first came out. I think it was in middle school.
So you had the gray
Yes.
brick.
Yes.
The
Yes.
DMG.
Yeah. So, but here's the thing. I got car sick in the car.
Playing Game Boy.
Doing anything, reading, Game Boy, whatever. So I had a Game Boy, but I never took it with me anywhere because I couldn't play it in the car. So I played it at the house. So I guess I never really considered that to be mobile gaming. It was because I could play it, in my room or whatever.
Yeah.
But I didn't really play it in the car or anywhere else.
Yeah. See, I never took the Game Boy to like school. So that was like the big thing, taking your Game Boy to school. I maybe did it once.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I did. I took my Game Boy Pocket to school once because Pokemon had come out. The original, the only Pokemon I'm experienced with. And another kid, I would not call him a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I definitely used him for trading Pokemon. So I brought it in to trade because he had everything. So that's how I completed the Pokedex.
Right.
On the bus. But I didn't take it out at school or anything like that because I think they were really strict about it. I feel like it would have gotten taken from you very quickly. I played a lot at home, and I played a lot in the car because I don't, as you know, motion sickness. I
Lucky.
don't get motion sickness. I played in the car a lot, which is tricky because of the lighting situation with the old Game Boy. If it's too sunny, it kind of blocks it out, or if it's too dark, you can't play. Just all around, it's very hard to see the screen. Yeah, I had the Game Boy was my first portable system for sure, and then I didn't get a Game Boy Advance or anything like that. Game Boy Pocket's kind of where I stopped for a long time, and it wasn't until I got older that I got sort of the other, you know, when the 3DS sort of got popular. I had DS and things like that, but yeah, Game Boy was a game changer. That was a big deal. So you even had one and you didn't even really play it that much. Is what you're saying.
Right. And again, it goes back to like the screen. The screen was a little sketchy. You know, I had it, just didn't really play it a ton.
Now, did you any other thing? PSP, we said PS Vita, you didn't, but PSP, you never tried that.
Nope.
I tried the PSP. That was probably the next sort of iteration for mobile gaming for me. But
I wanted one of those, but I didn't get it.
Impressive system. You could do a lot with that before they sort of updated the firmware. Like it was an iPod.
Wow.
And that's kind of how I ended up using it. I remember taking it with me and having music on it and files and things like that. But then as it got upgraded, it got more locked down, like just focused on one thing. Okay, so let's get into actual cell phone gaming. I guess we could talk about some of your favorites.
Cell phone games?
Yeah.
This could be a whole segment.
Okay. Let's talk about the game that you've spent. We talked about it a little bit. Is it going to be the same game?
Yeah. Oh,
the
yeah.
one that you spent the most time on?
Most time and money.
Okay, so the most time and money.
And let me preface this by saying I really don't spend a lot of money on mobile games. I don't. I try to get away with the minimum.
It just speaks to how good this game was to
Yes, how
you.
much I enjoyed it. I played this game for years. You know, was really big on, I gotta collect all the cards.
So again, what is the name of this game?
It's Aridin Arena.
Aridin Arena.
Mm-hmm.
Arena.
Yeah.
When has it been out longer than you've been playing, or did you get it pretty early on?
I didn't get it immediately when it came out, but I got it pretty early on.
How'd you hear about it?
Stumbled onto it.
So it was okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You know,
Something you read online, or
no,
you
I
saw it on the App Store?
Yeah, the App Store. I cruise for games at least once a week. New games.
Gerald, what are you doing? I'm cruising for games.
For games.
He's cruising USA for games.
All right.
Let's go just to refresh for those of us out there who haven't seen the first episode. What the basics? Give me just a quick rundown of the session. It's a card game.
It's a collectible card game.
Collectible card game.
Yeah. So you have your character, and each character has different abilities.
And they're only character cards. We kind of talked about
they're only character cards. They each have up to 3 abilities. It depends on which level you have them at, 1, 2, or 3. And you roll dice, and the dice end up being, your mana, essentially. And they have different symbols on them. And depending on which symbols you roll depends on which powers you activate. And you get to roll 3 times. It's kind of like Yahtzee style, and you can lock in certain faces of the die. It's like, I want to get those 2 symbols so I can try to activate this powerful ability. And then the card, it's PvP. So then the 2 cards, you each pick one, and then they go head to head, and they have different abilities and things like that. It's was great. I think I started playing in, was it 2012? I don't want to. I don't know if you could see that on screen, but his eyes just like
2012. That's a long time.
I'm gonna pull it up.
Oh, he's gonna do it
because
he's gonna check it.
Now I haven't been on this app for a couple months because I
got to be too much.
Shame on you, developers. Yeah, it did. I was paying $20 a month. Yeah. And again, initially I didn't mind because I was playing this game. I didn't put any money in this game for years. No money.
Right.
And I got a ton of enjoyment out of it. And I thought, you know what? It got to the point where I was looking for an excuse to throw money their way. I had enjoyed the game so much. But then, unfortunately, it got to the point where it was requiring me to pay money just to get the cards.
Now, how close did you get to a complete set? Now, I'm sure they release cards regularly.
Sense, yeah.
But did you ever have all the cards that were available at the time?
No, I think the closest I ever got was like 87% complete. Because here's the thing, and this was really great. Up until recently, they haven't been re-releasing their cards. So if you weren't there in the first couple months, you weren't getting them unless it was like random draws, which you couldn't trust those.
Right. So these are cards you cannot get if you weren't. So they're time sensitive.
Yeah, and they just recently, right before I stopped playing, they just recently started re-releasing them for players who hadn't been around since the beginning. And that was initially because I was going to quit before, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's my opportunity to get these cards that I couldn't get before. But the money just got to be...
Yeah, and like I said in that previous episode, same situation with Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, which I was playing every day. And there would be timed events, like there would be a fishing tournament with furniture you could only get during that tournament, and then when it was ended, if you didn't collect it all, there was no way to get it. And normally that wouldn't bother me, but because I do have a completionist mindset when it comes to games. Like if they're... Great example, Final Fantasy games. For me, I don't sell anything, so, you know, most Final Fantasy games, you start out with a very basic weapon, and then as you go through certain stores, we'll have slightly better weapons. Certain enemies will give you, you'll find weapons in chests that are better, and you just swap them out, and the old ones become generally useless. But I had to have one of every weapon, even if it was a weapon I would never use. I had to have so I have every generation of their weapons for each character, and I keep them all. I don't sell them off. Even if I needed money for like potions, I would just keep them.
Wow, good for you.
Good for me, because when Final Fantasy IX came out, there's a dungeon castle you go into where the weakest weapons are the most powerful in this weird castle, and it just happened to work out because I had all their base weapons that they start with. How you like that? But with Animal Crossing, what really is frustrating is they track. You can go into a catalog and see fishing tournament 2017, May 2017, whatever it would be. And it'll say 8 out of 16 items collected, and it'll never be completed. Oh, there's no way. So every event, when it would happen, I would get them done. I would complete it. It would turn nice and gold because I completed that section of the catalog. And that's always what I've done in Animal Crossing, is try to get every piece of furniture, every piece of clothing, male or female. Didn't matter. I had to have one of everything. And
now, would that cause you anxiety?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, in this game, in the original Animal Crossing on 3DS, well, not the original, but New Leaf on 3DS was the first one I really went all in with. That one, the good thing is, yeah, you missed it, but I'll get it next year. I'll get it next Christmas. So there's always that chance that you could do it. In this game, possibly not, because they dated them by year. So there might not be a chance to get things that you missed. I hear they've introduced that, but when it talk about stress, the most stressful part of Animal Crossing Pocket Camp was the initial garden safari events. So they added a garden. They were very good at updating and adding things very quickly. The game is much more complete now than it was when it came out, but the good thing about when it came out, it was easier to get everything done in time without spending money on those leaf tickets, which we talked about. That's that's the premium currency to buy things and do things that normally would take you much longer to do. So these garden safaris, they added a little garden, and somebody would come to your garden, and they would say, hey, I'm looking for rare creatures. Again, 31, looking for rare creatures on these special flowers. Collect special flowers from the friends in your camp. Do requests for them, and they'll be like, hey, I really want a salmon. Could you find me a salmon? And you go catch a salmon. Here's your salmon. Oh, here's a couple flowers. Here's some daisies. And then you would go plant them. And then once they were fully grown, there's a chance that these special butterflies or crickets would appear around them. You would catch them, and then you could catch enough to unlock and receive special prizes based around that particular garden safari.
Wow.
And it was like a 7-day event, maybe an 8-day event. So if you didn't get everything in 8 days, the guy would be like, all right, I'm done catching creatures. See ya! And they would just take off, and that's it.
Wow.
So it was very stressful. I was like, okay, I would I'm like, okay, at lunch today, At lunch today, I got to harvest all the flowers because you had a limited number of plots.
Right.
I'm like, okay, I'm going to harvest all my plants.
So this is at work, obviously.
Hopefully my boss isn't watching. But good for the fans. If I get fired, more episodes on the channel. So I would be like, okay, at lunchtime, I got to quickly harvest all the plants that are fully grown, plant new ones because they took time to grow, and they would only show creatures when they were fully grown. And what really frustrated people was actually online. People complained about garden safaris because of this aspect. It took so long. You'd have to water the plants, and it would take, a couple of hours to fully grow.
I'm familiar with the mechanism.
The creatures would show up. You'd catch them. And the smart thing would be, okay, I caught these creatures. Maybe in an hour, more will show up on the flowers.
Right.
Nope. Once creatures have shown up, the only way to get new ones after you've
plant more
them
flowers
is to rip them up and plant fresh ones. Or if you have enough friends that will come by and share flowers or share insects and creatures on those flowers for you to recollect, which was rare. Sometimes I would, a nice person, a nice fan maybe, that knew I was on Pocket Camp would come and, oh, here's all the rare creatures. That happened occasionally, but it was rare. So I was like, I can't chance it. I gotta harvest them, plant them, make sure they're getting watered.
Rip them up.
I'd come back, they'd be all dried out, which means they would stop growing.
Oh, wow.
It was a lot. So it was usually down to the last day.
Down to the
I
wire.
was collecting the last unique item.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like, I was like, okay, it's stressful, but I'm
You can
able
do it.
to do it. And all the other events were relatively easy to get through. And then, like I said, they introduced those stupid fortune cookies. And in the fortune cookie, 50 leaf tickets apiece. You might get 10 leaf tickets in a session, a day session, maybe, depending on what's going on that day. 50 a fortune cookie, and like I said, it was random what unique item you would receive.
Right.
And they were limited event fortune cookies.
Right.
So I'm like, and I have not opened it since then.
The worst part for that story, that I don't know if you told me this on camera or off camera, but you work so hard to, I think, get the cookies or whatever. You get the unique item, and sometimes you get duplicate unique items. That would... Man, I would have been like, done. Yeah, I'm done.
The one that killed it for me was the game consoles one. You had 6 days, and they had like classic consoles, the Virtual Boy, which I was super excited about. And I got the Virtual Boy, and then I was like, all right, awesome. Then I got another Virtual Boy, and I got another Virtual Boy, I got another Virtual Boy.
Yeah.
So I was like, click, out, force close the app.
Once you rage quit like that, very rarely do I come back.
And occasionally I'll get the push notifications where it's like, hey, Cecil has entered the camp if you want to join him for some fun. No, I haven't opened it.
Screw you, Cecil.
Frustrating. So those are Animal Crossing Pocket Camp is my Eridan arena.
Yeah,
that's my Eridan arena. There were other games I've played longer, and we'll get into that though. We'll get into that a little bit later. Because
I misspoke, by the way. I started playing that game in 2015, not 2012. So
2012, it probably didn't exist yet.
It probably didn't exist yet. So I didn't want to get called out on that.
For a 6-year.
Right.
6-year.
I was playing
since 2012.
99. Yeah, right.
99. Oh, boy. Well, we're going to take a little bit of a game break.
That's right.
It's game break time. It's going to be a little bit different today. Okay. So last time we did a little trivia, which I wonderfully fudged. But this time there's no chance for any fudgery.
Okay.
Is that fudgery?
Fudgery?
Yeah, I don't like where that's going. So we're going to be doing a little mini game, real or fake. We know what those words mean.
Sure.
So here's how it's going to work. We know there are so many cell phone mobile games that there's so many that it seems insane.
Yeah.
And there's some junk out there.
A lot of junk.
I will say, as much as people like to hate on the iOS, generally they're a little bit better
I would agree with that.
at keeping some of the trash out.
I would agree with that.
Okay, compared to Android, because it's a little more, like you have to go through an approval process, I think, to get on Apple's App Store. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go through a couple different games. I'm going to give you the title and a brief description of that game. And I want you to tell me, is it real or did I just make it up?
Okay.
Is this made up?
Okay.
Okay, so here we go. Here's the first one. Oh, boy. The first one is called Chubby Booth. Chubby Booth.
Okay.
What would you or your friends look like with extra pounds? Chubby Booth provides a funny way to instantly get faces fat. That's from their description.
I would say, are you finished?
I'll give you one more little. You want a little more detail?
Give me a little more. Yeah.
Okay, another piece from their rave reviews.
Right.
Choose from 5 kilograms to 200 kilograms to adjust the fat level of the photo. Real or fake? Chubby Booth.
Real.
It is real.
Yeah.
Well done. It is real. It's just that trend of booth games where it's like, oh, mustache your face, or put weird filters on your face. And I was like, there's one for just to be chubby.
Yep.
Little bonus on that. In the sample images before you download it, it even shows pictures of babies that they have made obesely fat. And I'm like, that's kind of gross. That's weird. So you're 1 for 1.
All right.
Good start. Next one.
Okay.
Here's the title. Cooking Sausage Running. Cooking Sausage Running. You'll be running through jungles, forests, plains, mazes, labyrinths, all as a freakish bipedal sausage. An excerpt from the description states, become as skillful in running as the real athlete, but being a simple sausage of cooking sausage running game, have fun. Real or fake?
Real.
It is real.
It's real.
How is that real? Well done.
I played that game.
Oh, that's a little scary, playing with the sausage. One of the features is listed as this. Nice locations made in simple 3D graphics. Oh, wow. I am convinced to have it.
I actually did play a game like that. It was different. I don't think it was the same game, but you play it as a bipedal sausage, and you're going through... there's all these blades.
You think it would make more sense to go through like a crazy supermarket?
Yeah, that's true.
But this is like, oh no, forests.
Yeah, this wasn't forest. This was like an obstacle course, but it was like there were flames and blades.
Just your
and
classic
knives.
endless runner game.
Right. And you couldn't stop running, but you could speed up, slow down, or you could like lean up or lean forward.
Okay.
And that held my attention for maybe a day, and I was like, delete.
This one probably not as diverse and intense as that one.
Right.
All right, ready for the next one?
Yep, let's do it.
We're just getting into it, man.
2 for 2.
We're getting in 2 for 2. Well done. This one is called Hug Trainer Plus. Hug Trainer Plus.
Okay.
Struggling with delivering professional hugs? Follow our easy guide trainer to improve your hug experiences. With hundreds of images demonstrating hug procedures, become friends with anyone. Hug Trainer Plus, real or fake?
Now you've given me... Here's the thing.
All right.
You've given me 2 reels. So are you trying to switch?
Don't logic
Listen,
this.
having said that...
Don't logic me.
If we're not including that, let's just say this was the first one you gave me, I'd say real.
Your logic would have saved you. It is fake. I made it up. I was inspired by
a good one.
A Tim and Eric segment from the old Awesome Show. Great job, where it was hug training tapes. And I was like, that'd be a funny app.
Yeah.
But it does sound like just maybe.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Just maybe. It might actually exist. Maybe I just didn't find it.
Yeah.
All right, last one.
Okay.
You're 2 for 3.
2 for 3.
Only because I kind of pushed you away from your logic.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. The title. City Police Parking Mania 2018.
Okay.
City Police Parking Mania 2018. This is a parking simulator / police chase game where the main focus is parking a police SUV, described by the developers as a sensible police car driving and stopping experience. City Police Parking Mania
I'd say
2018.
I'd say true.
It is real.
Yeah.
It is real.
I'd say real.
A recent update note stated this. We tried to remove bugs and increased more action and fight. It's a solid update.
That's a good update right there.
We've increased both the action and the fight. And the craziest thing is all of these are available on the iOS store right now. The iOS, the App Store.
Yeah, there's
on iOS.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised that even being on Apple, they're still pretty terrible looking.
Well,
yeah.
You know,
That's a good break.
yeah,
That's a good little break.
I enjoyed that.
Scary how many of those were real.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah. So here's a question.
Okay.
Back to our cell phones. What is your most embarrassing cell phone game?
Okay. So I played when I first started dating my girlfriend. I was in the thick of a game called Castle Story.
Okay. Go on. I don't know Castle Story.
So Castle Story.
But you were in the thick of it.
I was in
It was so
the
thick.
thick of it.
Oh, it was thick.
And it's one of these games where you have to build
one of those building games
yeah,
where it's like timed.
Yeah, so you have to build the mill to get the wood, and then you have to build something else to get the something,
and then as you build, this takes 6 hours.
Yes,
This takes 8
yes,
hours to build.
Yes,
but if you pay a little money,
and
you'll
I
finish
didn't.
early.
I
Okay.
didn't. But that's an option,
Right?
But you have to babysit it because it's done in 2 hours. It's done in 6 hours. It's done in whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You need to collect the items what you're producing.
Similar to the more popular Clash of Clans.
Okay,
Which is sort of like the big, everybody played one where you're building up your village to fight other clans, and it's all about collecting elixir and gold that you can use to purchase, different things like archer towers and units that you can have fight, but they take hours and hours and sometimes days.
Right. So this wasn't any kind of like PvP or PvE. I guess it was PvE in that you were trying to progress the story.
Okay, so that had a story.
Yeah.
Clash of Clans, no story.
Yeah. So this had a story. So you were trying to like unlock different characters and try to solve the mystery.
Mm-hmm.
And when we first started dating, it gets kind of cartoony, kind of fairy tale-y.
So sort of a fun look to it, a little cartoony.
Yeah.
But was it cheesy?
It was
borderline cheesy.
Not cheesy, but it was borderline childish.
Okay. So it wasn't like beauty pageant makeup.
No. But this is a grown ass man. So it was enough for me to definitely be embarrassed to
question
playing.
myself. Yeah.
So I would she'd go to the bathroom and I'd pull it out and I'd collect everything and put it back and or I'd walk to the kitchen and collect everything and this went on for a little bit and then I was like, listen, I gotta be honest.
I gotta be real with you.
Yeah,
hun.
I'm doing something behind your back.
And it's not human.
But here's the best part. So I showed her. She loves these games. She got on board.
Oh, no.
So then we're both playing it.
Who knew?
Yeah.
So you were both just being embarrassing together.
Yeah.
That's love.
It was kind of it's
love right there.
Our dirty little secret.
Man. Interesting.
Yeah.
So that was called Castle Story?
Castle Story.
Yeah.
And then I think either they had stopped updating it or getting everything was just taking way too long because we were so advanced in the story that we just walked away from it. Mm-hmm. And I could be wrong on this, but I think maybe they'd stopped updating it.
Mm-hmm.
So
that might be something that might be it. I think we just figured out. I did. You don't know what I'm going to say yet, but I just figured out, I think, why I am so anti-mobile gaming. Because it doesn't end. Unless you just say, most of my cell phone gaming experiences end with me like, F it, I'm done.
Right.
I'm done with this.
Right.
But you haven't beaten it. So the aspect of beating the game doesn't usually exist. It's these endless sort of games, like endless runners, or see how far you can get, or keep building up, or it's like, okay, I built everything. Oh, the update is going to add this kind of tower, and I can do this now, and all this extra stuff. So it's like not having a real complete...
that's given what you said earlier in the episode about having a complete set of something, Let me put a little bit more context into where I'm coming from. Even back in the day, Nintendo, the original Nintendo, back in the day, I could walk away from a game, leave it uncompleted. I had no problem with that. I could just stop playing.
Maybe as a kid I could, but I would be very frustrated because there were many games on the NES, which was my first real console.
Right.
I had the Vectrex before that, but it was the first time I was like, okay, this is gaming.
Yeah.
And there were tons of games that I did not complete but I wasn't like, all right. It wasn't easy for me to not finish them.
Yeah. And see, it was easy for me. I still have games. I have games now that I haven't finished. I'm just like, whatever.
Oh, yeah. I have a dangerous number of games that have not been finished or played, which is a real problem. Dangerous. Dangerous. You make a channel that kind of talks about gaming, and you somehow have less time to play those games.
Right.
So I think for me that's what it is. So that might be a mindset thing. I like a complete experience, but the few games that I really did like, because they're starting to all come back to me. There are games that did complete and finish that didn't get new updates, that weren't made to have updates. But a lot of times I would get frustrated where I would finish a game and be like, oh, I beat everything, I collected everything, and then they'd be like, hey, new update, we're adding all this extra stuff. I'm like, oh, but I was done.
Right.
I was done with the game, and I felt good about it.
Wow.
There's no complete experience because my favorite genre being RPGs,
right,
they have a definitive end.
Right.
And I can feel satisfied, like, oh, that was a great experience. I enjoyed that from beginning to end. And then cell phone games like, oh, I really enjoyed that from beginning to frustrated when I stop. When you just like, all right, I've had enough. And that's my problem. I've had so many cell phone gaming experiences that ended with, all right, I get it. I've had enough.
Right.
And sometimes it'll be a year later, a year of playing a game.
Right.
Maybe not every day, but man, maybe that percentage is higher than I want to admit.
So what led you, use example earlier, Tiny Tower. What made you stop that?
Tiny Tower. So Tiny Tower, that was an early one. The reason, let's go even before that.
Okay.
I just like to make it weird. We got to use them.
I use it all the time.
They're not just props.
No, I'm... Yeah.
Oh, you go for another one?
No.
Go for another sipper.
I have to...
Hey, Wawa's got Siptopia going on right now.
Right.
Whatever that means. I just see the billboards.
That's right.
I haven't been to Wawa in a while.
I love me some Wawa.
So our Northeast Coast boys. So Tiny Tower. I loved very few. I played some PC games back in the day, in the early days. There were a few that I played as intensely as Sim Tower. Did you ever play Sim Tower?
I did not.
Sim Tower was probably my favorite Sim City game, which is funny because it wasn't even really a Sim City game. It came out over here by Maxis, but it was actually called, I believe, Ute Tower in Japan. And I think Maxis was like, you know what? This is a simulation game. Let's take it. We'll throw Sim on it, and we're going to make bank. I don't know if they made a lot of money, but I loved that game. I played hours and hours of it. And you played Sim Tower a little bit, or aware of it?
No.
So Sim Tower is a tower building game, and your goal is to build a very powerful tower with residential areas where people have basically condos. You would build hotel areas where people would come in. You would hire housekeepers to handle them. It was really focused on elevator management. So there was a lot of elevator management.
So you had to control the elevators?
You would have to decide where they were placed, how many floors high they went, how many cars there were in the elevators. You would have service elevators that were only used by, say, housekeeping.
Right.
Cargo elevators, things like that. And then you would start to have to worry about things like trash, recycling centers. You'd have these underground areas that you would have to build up. So it was very involved. Office spaces. Such a great game. And the goal was to get to, I believe, 100 levels. So 100 levels high was the max tower height, I believe. And then you were trying to get like a 5-star tower. I think that's what it was. Correct me if I'm wrong, internet. You will. But I think 5-star tower was the goal. And I pulled it off without cheating. I was able to build that max tower and make profit. And amazing game. Super nostalgic for it. And then I see this thing, Tiny Tower, on the app. I was like, Tiny Tower? This looks like Sim Tower.
Right.
So Tiny Tower is really just a super dumbed down version of Sim Tower. It's not a hard game by any means. But it was just about building up your levels, and I did everything. I unlocked everything.
Wow, good for you.
That's why I stopped.
Huh. So you completed it.
I completed that game.
Way to go.
They didn't really, as far as I know, they didn't add a lot of updates. I finished the game. I beat it.
Wow, congratulations.
And I enjoyed it. But it left me wanting more because it was not a simulation as much as Sim Tower. But it was definitely inspired by Sim Tower. There were some things that felt similar, like you could hone in on individuals that were in the tower which was kind of nice. You could like name them and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and you could do that in Sim Tower, but it was a lot more, I guess, adult oriented. It wasn't as fun and cutesy. Because
Right.
Tiny Tower is very, very cutesy. I
Yeah.
think they made some other games, that company, in that style, but
Yeah.
I didn't get into that.
Yeah.
So that's my life with Tiny Tower,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
All right, now we're gonna do something different a little bit. We're gonna whip it out. We're gonna whip it out.
That's not a new segment, is
We're
it?
gonna we're gonna whip out our phones. I want you to bring your phone up.
Okay.
Now, how organized are you when it comes to your apps? Do you have a games folder? Is what I'm asking.
I've got a couple
You-
couple of games folders.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay, are they labeled? Please tell me your games folders labels.
Let's see. I've got.
Don't be afraid.
They're all games,
Whip
role
it out.
playing, games.
Wait, games. These are my games. These are my games role playing.
Right. And then there's other games that are they're not in folders. They're just on another screen.
A little messy.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so you have more than one screen.
Yes.
See, I'm a one screen
That's impressive.
iPhoner. iPhoner. So I have games, the
Mhm.
games folder, and then I have game utilities. So those are my two. Game utilities are things like the PlayStation app,
Okay.
or the PlayStation Messages app,
Mhm.
or game collecting utilities to
Mhm.
track like game
Do you have
collections.
PlayLink for PS4?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. PlayLink for
Mhm.
That's You.
That's true.
I have that on there.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I've been waiting to play Hidden Agenda.
I
'Cause wanna
picked
play
that up.
I want to play that with a group.
I picked up the physical version.
Really?
Because it was like $5 as an add-on item on
I
Amazon.
want more games like that.
Yeah, I love them. Yeah, they're great for parties. We
Mm-hmm.
gotta have some more parties here soon.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go. I'm gonna go into my games folder.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Go to like one of your main games folders. How many things you got in there, you think? How many games are in there?
So my games folders are light, but I just have multiple games folders. So I'd say 7.
So you said it earlier, you delete. When
I
you're
do.
done with a game, you delete it, it's
Done.
gone.
Yep, it's dead to me.
Okay, if I put a lot into it, I tend to hang on to it.
Mm-hmm. Do you offload the apps?
No.
Mm.
No,
So
I
you're
don't.
using a lot of
Space.
space.
Yeah, I mean, every once in a while, oh man. So just looking here, are there any games that frustrate you that you want to talk about? Because I'm already.
Listen, yes. Yes.
knock
And
it
I
out.
deleted it. So there's a game for PC that I loved, Evil Genius. You play the mastermind of an evil organization,
Okay.
a la James Bond, right?
Okay.
And you're trying to take over the world, and you're hatching all these plots. You're sending out your agents. I love this genre. Love it. Love the game on the PC.
Okay.
Okay?
So they made a cell phone version.
They did. And it was, man, horrible. It was one of these pay to play, pay to win.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was awful. It was not enjoyable.
So they took what you
Advertisements everywhere.
loved, and they ruined it.
Ruined it. Ruined it.
Now that's something I want to talk about later too. Well, we can just talk about it now. Because my biggest thing is, can you have a real game experience, at least the way I see games, on your cell phone? And I think people would say yes because, the Mega Man games, there were iOS versions.
Mm-hmm.
But here's my issue with that. Controls. I can't play a Mega Man game with touch controls. I would have to have a controller. And then I'm like dealing with hooking up a Bluetooth controller to my phone. Why don't I just play Mega Man on a television
Right.
at that point? It's not portable anymore. Final Fantasy. There have been iOS versions of almost every Final Fantasy game. I'm pretty sure Final Fantasy 9 is on iOS.
Right.
Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy
I think
6.
7 was
Or
the
3.
last one I saw. But
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have put out most of them.
I'm waiting for 8 because 8 was.
Isn't that surprising that 7 and 9 have come out on the PSN and on Steam and all, but the 8, which was on PC, there was an release of 8 on PC, hasn't really.
Yeah.
It's like they forgot about
They
it.
forgot about it.
Maybe
Yeah.
because they hate it. You an 8 fan?
I am an 8 fan.
Well, we're gonna have to have a whole episode dedicated to Final Fantasy 8. There's a video on my channel about Final Fantasy 8 and my love-hate relationship with it.
Mm.
So it sounds like we just invented a new topic. An FF8 dedicated show. There's so much to talk about for that game. I could see it happening. So if I look here, frustrating games that are still on my phone.
Uh-huh.
Did you ever play Angry Birds?
No, I did not.
Impressive, because I feel like everybody got caught up in that.
Yeah.
I like the physics of it.
I played it on a friend's phone, so I know the concept, but I was just like, this doesn't really appeal to me.
You know, I did get Flappy Bird just because of the hype.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity. You know, terrible. But I guess you can't get the original Flappy Bird
No,
anymore, right? 'Cause you took it off.
anymore.
So I can't delete that
Yeah.
just for the, you know, when I sell this. Injustice. So when Injustice came out, great game from NetherRealm Studios, the Mortal Kombat guys.
Right.
Great fighting game. It's my style. I'm not very good at Street Fighter fighting games with the sort of like the half circle moves. I like that very choppy downright BB, downright XX, whatever it is. So I got the Injustice mobile game because when the game came out, if you unlocked certain things in the app, if you synced it with your PSN account, you would unlock special costumes and things within the game. And they were, I'm surprised they don't do that more, because that got me to play Injustice. And it was card based, where you would open booster packs and card packs.
I love that.
I'm
a sucker for that.
To get the fighters. But the actual game was a tap based fighter.
Right.
Terrible. Like, it was literally, I'm Batman. I'm just doing my combos.
Yeah.
Just tapping to do combos. And then it was really just how leveled up you were, determined if you won. And then they added PvP, and you could go against people online. Yeah, I spent a lot of hours playing that, but there really wasn't that much you could unlock in the main game. That one made me frustrated. One that didn't make me frustrated was the Ghostbusters. There was a Ghostbusters game. I wonder if even... Yeah, it's dead. It's dead. Ghostbusters needs to be updated. The developer of this app needs to update it to work with iOS 11. How frustrating is that your phone can update itself to the point where it kills your favorite games if they're not being updated?
Yeah.
And you know why it's not updated? Because it had a complete ending to it. And they said that they might add a new segment, but, you know, I completed the game. I unlocked all the original Ghostbusters, and, you know, it was a really fun sort of go around, catch the ghosts, earn money, upgrade equipment. It was a fun Ghostbusters experience.
That's pretty cool.
It was
cool
great
concept.
This is one I've had a very long time, and I can't even open it anymore. It is a Japanese game where you pluck cactus.
Really?
It's just it's a cactus with its little spines on it, and you're plucking the spines as fast as you can, trying to get a high score. That's all it was. I refused to delete it. There's
a game I almost deleted because I think the servers went down. They just couldn't afford to keep the servers up anymore.
Okay, so it was an online one.
It's frustrating. It's called The Moaning Words.
The Moaning Words? What is that?
So it's kind of Cthulhu based.
Okay.
And it's a story game that's a little bit story, a little bit choose your own adventure, a little bit collectible card game. And I'm a fan of the Cthulhu mythos genre, big fan. And this game had been online for years, and I was milking it because I loved it so much. If you watched last episode, you know I love delayed gratification. I think I mentioned that.
Yeah.
So I'm milking this app, and I finally go back to playing it, and it's dead. It's down. I'm crushed because I want to see. The story was written by Alan Dean Foster, so it's got some pull behind it as far as being a legit story.
And it's down.
It's down. It's because the servers are down.
Yeah, that's the sad aspect of cell phone gaming is
so,
how do you preserve cell phone gaming?
Now, I hadn't paid any money for that. I would have had I known it was going to go down. I wasn't even thinking. But you know, you pay the money, and then and that's I think what a lot of people complain about with these games is and freemium versus you pay the money, I guess, for the experience, but you don't really get anything you can keep because it can be gone at any moment.
Yeah, I mean, and if you put in $200 like you feel like you did in Airden Arena,
Yeah.
and then what if that goes
Yeah.
down?
Now, having said that, would I regret that? No, because
you got it out of it.
I got. Oh yeah.
See, and as a physical collector of games, that makes it very difficult for me to invest money into something that at any moment the developer could, one, take away from the App Store, so you couldn't download it again.
Right.
But even if you have it, they take the servers down if it's an online game.
Yep.
There is no way to play it.
Yep.
Maybe you've put $200 into it to build up your army. It's like, no, you can't have this experience anymore.
Yeah.
You are not allowed to have this experience anymore. And I think until there's some way around that, I mean, the only way to maintain a game that is offline is if people make private servers and they basically get it to live on their own. That's scary. And that happens with console games sometimes, or PC games where it's no longer supported by the developer online, and they make their own online service that you link into to keep these old games alive. With cell phones, I don't know.
Yeah.
That scares me a lot. So to finish up our topic, looking through your games, what are 3 mobile games you are still currently playing, or at least checking each week?
Okay, each week.
Yeah. I don't want to say every day. I'll give you each week.
Each week. Well, I don't know if these games really have legs like for years.
Okay.
But I'll tell you what I've been.
It's fine. Yeah, I've got a couple that I've
been playing recently
that might not hold up.
I've been playing Stormbound.
Okay.
Which is a collectible card game, a little bit of tactics.
A lot of cards.
I'm a sucker for card games.
And it's a big thing on the cell phones.
Yeah. Got a really great art style, which I'm a sucker for again. So I've been playing that. I've been playing Rival, which is... Let me actually read you the description because I'm not going to do it justice.
Yeah, don't blow it. Make it sound good. Make me want it.
It's an arena, PvP arena strategy game, which usually I'm not big on the arena genre.
Tell the folks at home, arena. What do you mean by arena strategy?
Okay, so you have to defend your arena against other players. So
a little tower defense-y?
A little bit, but so you've got 3 towers you need to defend and 2 lanes, and you play out your cards or as your mana grows, and you can play certain heroes. The heroes can go down one of 2 lanes, and they don't stop. They keep on moving.
Okay, so Clash Royale.
Okay,
is what you're saying.
Okay,
so Clash Royale. I gotta bust out the embarrassment. I play Clash Royale every day. And it is almost like an embarrassment as a gamer that I play Clash Royale, I feel like. I don't know why. I guess it shouldn't be. But it's just that thing of, as much as I talk about cell phone games, I've not spent any money on the game. I'm fairly high trophied. I've been playing it for a long time, since it came out, because of my coworkers. So my coworkers are not... First of all, hopefully they're not watching. They're probably watching. We, we're a little different in the sense that I'm sort of the gamer.
Right.
One of my coworkers does play some games, modern games.
It's interesting. You guys do have almost like classes.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
It's weird.
That's funny.
Very weird. So, they're not gamers, but they, cell phone gaming is so mainstream. We all played Clash of Clans. We all had a clan.
Right.
And then Clash Royale came out. We all moved to Clash Royale, and we kept it going since it's been out. We've been playing it every day. And we took a little break, and then we got back into it, and we're in a pretty solid clan, and we're doing pretty well. Like, we're getting first place in the big clan wars a lot.
Wow, good for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I sometimes assist. I'm like 10th out of everybody.
Wow.
I'm not higher up in there, but I mean, that's a game that is, to me, the quintessential mainstream mobile game. Is something like Clash Royale. It's like, so everybody knows it. I mean, it's that. So that would be the same thing. It's card based. You have your cards in your deck. As you build up elixir, you get enough to play the card,
Gotcha.
and it sends the troop out into the lanes. There are 2 lanes, same thing, and you have 3 towers. And you're trying to take down the towers, and it's 1-on-1. There's also 2v2 modes that help sort of mix it up a little bit. But yeah, Clash Royale. Yeah, so that's one that I'm playing a lot. So that's one you're playing a lot. Another sort of arena-based kind of game.
Right.
Another one that I still play. Actually, it's only 2 that I'm playing regularly. That one and one called Farms and Castles.
Whoa!
Farms and Castles is it's really just a puzzle game made by an offshoot of Square.
Interesting.
Square Enix, or Enix if you want to be fancy. Square Enix is what I like to say. So it is super simple. You start out with a randomized grid-based plot of land, and you're trying to get as many moves as you can. And it'll be like there's stone materials, and there's sort of, I guess, foresty materials.
Right.
So you start off, you have like bushes and stones. You get 3 stones connected. They become the next item, which I believe is like rocks. And then if you have 3 sets of rocks near each other, they become a wall. 3 walls get together, they become a little castle. And you're building up to try to get, and as you get to castles, they award you with gold every turn. And then you can spend that gold on items you need to continue the puzzle and see how long you can last. And then, so on the other side, you have bushes, and the bushes make trees, and the trees make larger bushes, and the bushes make farms, and the farms make like granaries, or I don't know really what they're called. And it's just building up to the next level of what those are. And then you can use your gold or your goods to purchase, those bushes or stones to complete sections. So it really is like a sort of a mix of, what do you call it, Candy Crush,
right?
But with medieval style, and it's all about how long you can last before you run out of spaces. If you completely fill the grid, it's game over.
Right.
Because you can't, like, remove them.
Right.
So Farms and Castles, for some reason, I spent a lot of time playing that. And I've done pretty well. I crossed the 100,000 point level, which was not easy.
Yeah.
Because, But really, I mean, for me, that's it. Like, I'm looking at some of these games that I've had over the years here. A lot of Final Fantasy stuff. Brave Exvius and Opera Omnia, Voice Fantasy. Voice Fantasy is a funny one, where you create characters to battle with voice.
Really?
So I'd be like, all right, create your character, and I'd be like, butthole, and it will create a character based on your voice.
What's that called?
It'll assign it. It's called Voice Fantasy.
I have to check that out.
Yeah, so it'll create your character, it'll give it a class based on it, it'll have different stats, and then you go into battle with your party that you've created by saying voices, and every time they attack, they say whatever that voice is.
Get out.
It's very goofy.
That sounds...
Yeah. Final Fantasy Record Keeper, I played a lot of that, but I eventually stopped. Pokemon Go, I mean, if we got to at least mention it. Honorable mention, Pokemon Go. I played it a lot in the beginning, and then it got to the point where I started to drive... I used to start taking certain routes home from work because I knew there were Pokestops on that road. And when I was like, oh, I hope I hit a red light.
See?
So I can collect. And then it was the point where I like, oh, I can, this is easy. I'm not even really playing. It's safe. And that's why I was like, no.
Right.
I'm done.
Right.
No more Pokemon Go. Also, once they added more Pokemon past the 150, I was out. I don't care about. I only care about the original 150.
Right.
151 if you count. So, I don't know. Just like Game Boy. I only played the original blue and red version.
Right.
I don't even think I played yellow version. I only played the first 2, and that was enough for me. And they have all these X and Y and gold and black pearl diamond, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
How much Pokemon there is, and I guess there might be a Switch Pokemon game coming down the line, so it's not gonna die anytime soon.
No. The last game I want to mention that I play is Elder Signs, which is a cardboard game, and this is a digital port.
Okay.
Again, it has the whole Yahtzee style mechanic, but it's set in this museum, and you're trying to stop the ancient ones from rising up. It's such a clean game. It's well written, thematic. The music's great. phenomenal.
Yeah, we could talk about that for a while. There's so many board games translated to cell phone games. Like Carcassonne is on there.
Yeah.
Splendor apparently is on there. A lot of good board games. We'll have to do a board game show. That'll be the digitally distracted after dark because there's no power.
Yeah.
So we're not really digitally distracted. We'll do a board game episode.
Brilliant. Love it.
So let's finish up with a Q&A.
Okay.
We're still going here, but we gotta get the Q&A in. I've got 2 returning good boys. Good old boys.
Man.
Today. We got Evan B back again on Patreon because the show might not be out yet. So, be ready for getting your questions on the Q&A soon once you see the episodes. But Evan B on the Patreon exclusive. He said, "What was the first mobile game you played?" I know. This is a tough one. Ever since I saw it, I've been trying to think what was the first cell phone game. And if I want to get really old, it was Snake. It was Snake.
Wow.
Snake on my prepaid phone. The old Snake. Can you remember?
No.
No? It's tricky. Yeah, it was definitely a Snake because I think
Evan, you stumped me.
Most phones had Snake on there. So maybe if it comes back to you. Number 2, he had a couple more questions. How do you feel mobile gaming has helped / hurt the video game industry? Do you think it's...
I'm buying less video games.
So you're buying...
On console, absolutely.
Okay, so it's hurting the console market for you.
Yes.
Maybe the PC market.
Yeah.
But, and that's that thing of, but it's still games. All games are games.
Right.
And I'm like,
But on the same time, it's made me more of a gamer because I'm constantly looking for the next game. What's next? I can have a full suite of games. I've got, this is all the time I have in the day to play games. I'm full. I'm still looking for the next game. So
interest is up.
Oh my gosh, it's giving me that hunger.
Yeah.
That insatiable appetite where I can't.
Gotta eat them.
Yeah.
Gotta get them.
Gotta eat them.
Gotta go fast. I think it has. I don't think it's really had that much of an impact, but I'm not deep into it, maybe, or not deep enough into it because I don't spend. I may have bought maybe 2 mobile games in the entirety of my having a cell phone for the few that you would actually have to put money up front for.
Right.
And I've spent very little money, if any, on cell phone games. I don't know if I've actually spent money for gems or coins or any of those things to progress further in a game. Maybe once or twice, but it was maybe I received an iTunes gift card and I just had money on my balance. I was like, meh. So I was like, it's not real money. It's digital. I got to spend it somewhere.
It's funny. My mentality is switching, and I don't know if it has to do with age or what, but before I was more like you, where I either wanted that physical copy, which I still do for my consoles, but at least with mobile games, I didn't want to pay a lot of money or any money sometimes. And now it's kind of like, well, I'll pay money for the experience,
Okay.
And I'm fine with that. And I that's a new progression.
I would almost give it sort of a connection to food because I'm going out on a limb here. Because the experience...
Got to eat them all.
Yes, got to eat them all. The experience of eating in a restaurant, you don't generally, unless you got a doggy bag, you're not coming home with something. The experience is, that Cheesecake Factory, though, delicious.
Right.
And then it's a consumable. So for me, I feel like mobile games are a different type of consumable.
I could see that.
Where you get your experience out, you spent money, and you have nothing to show for it. And that's I have a weird obsession with like memory cards that have completed games on them because the old style of, because saving your games to the cloud on PS4 or Xbox One, I don't feel like I have that completed game save. It's out in the cloud. But my Final Fantasy VII save, it's on that. I know it's on my green Joy Card branded memory card.
Boom.
And it's still there.
Right over there.
Like I have it. Oh no, this is my experience.
Yeah.
I have it physically.
I can show people.
All I can do is be like, well, I got this, but it's got so much else on it. It's in the cloud.
Yeah.
It's in the cloud. I don't know. It makes me feel weird. Last question from Evan on Patreon. Do you prefer certain games on cell/mobile than on a dedicated handheld game system? If so, why? Are there certain games that you prefer to play on a cell phone? I'll start out. No. Your turn.
I'll start out. Yes.
Why?
Because I sometimes I hate carrying this around, so I just want one device. Also, I like some games that are kind of bite-sized, so you open it up, have a quick bite, close it, and you can go back to doing whatever, texts, emails, news, whatever. So it needs to be on the same device in order for me to do that, because I'm not going to
have
take
two things.
Exactly, and then go back and forth between devices. I'll go back and forth between apps or programs and love it. That's fine, but not two different devices.
I would take my 3DS to work and play it on my lunch break. I used to do that. But again, it's hard. You know what? I say no, but it's hard for me to answer this question because I would rather play it on the television anyway. So it might be it. You know what? I might have to retract that and say, yeah, I probably would prefer to play certain games on the cell phone than a dedicated handheld game system. But that's the thing. I'll play my dedicated portable at home.
Yeah.
So he didn't specify, do you prefer to play it out and about? Yeah, I prefer on a dedicated because I know, here's why. All right, back to my original point.
Okay.
Because on the cell phone, it's probably going to crash more. I have games crash all the time.
That's true. Me too.
A dedicated handheld that's made to play that game, rarely do I have any issues playing it. It just works, and it will always work.
I can see that.
It might not always work here.
I can appreciate that.
Last Q&A boy. Oh, he's back again. Juicy John.
Juicy John.
Juicy John on Patreon. Get ready.
Okay.
Take a deep breath. With some games moving to the mobile market like Final Fantasy Explorers, think Monster Hunter, but with Final Fantasy. I did pick that up on the 3DS. How do you think this will affect the whole gaming market in the realm of handhelds? The 3DS version was released 2014, and then the mobile version was released around 4 years later. This mobile version is still very good in respects to the original version, with phone and tablets becoming more and more powerful over time and things like the Switch being released. Do you think that at-home consoles will be phased out and things like gaming tablets and handheld consoles you can connect to your TV and then take it on the go like the Switch will become the new standard?
Yes.
So you think portable gaming will become the new standard?
Yes.
Disagree. Because I don't think are they ever going to get powerful enough and have the battery power to back it up? Because they can get as powerful as a PS4 or a eventual PS5. Sure, they can make a portable system that's more powerful than your PC. But it's going to, even if they get it small enough, I don't think battery technology can keep up. So can they do it? Yeah, but you'll be playing for 20 minutes. That's what I think. Because, I mean, even cell phones, the games that they play, I mean, when you play an intense graphical game on your cell phone, the battery gets crushed.
That's true.
So that's why I would say no. Why do you say yes?
I think because, technology's moving in that mobile direction where we like to constantly stay connected, constantly like to either have it on us or with us. And I think that's one of the reasons why I prefer mobile gaming now, is because I don't want to leave my games at home. I want to be able to play them wherever I'm at. And I'm willing to give up some things in terms of graphical quality or whatever in order to take that with me. So,
and to save your battery.
Right. So, yeah, I think that's the way it's going, and especially with AR and things moving in that direction, it's only a matter of time.
That's a good spot to end it.
Yeah.
So thanks for your Q&A. If you want to submit some questions or topics to the Digitally Distracted Show, you can use the hashtag Digitally Distracted on Twitter. You can join the Discord server, or if you really like us, if you're really a fan, you can become a supporter on Patreon. So that does it for today's discussion on mobile cell phone, gaming. We went all around the
I
place.
feel like we scratched the surface.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about. This may be revisited.
Huh?
I'm sure these topics are all revisitable. But I'm Game Dave.
I'm Gerald.
Thanks for joining us and getting digitally distracted.